This is called Dr. Grayson's Pearls. Today I am haunted by faces, friends and lovers, teachers and strangers, who meant everything for days, weeks, months, years if I was lucky. Now I know them only as digital traces, familiar shapes on screens, pixels pressed into photographs, half-forgotten lyrics to a song I once knew by heart but now can only hum. I often see pictures of old classmates, 6 years older, with full beards, beer bellies, and babies. Some of them I didn't know I could connect with until the last few weeks in that town. A fleeting moment. Like finding jeans that fit perfectly just as you outgrow them, or the last drag of a cigarette you swore you didn't need, or like a book you borrowed but never finished. I held them, briefly, and then they slipped away. Sometimes I miss my hometown, the one I don't return to. It was a cocoon I didn't choose, a shell that sheltered me but never quite fit. I broke out of it. I'm not sure it ever fully let me go. Sometimes I think of each person that touched my life, like beads threaded through time, each one added until I could wear them all, each a piece of my becoming. When I was a girl, my mother was gifted a strand of pearls, a gift from someone whose name we no longer share aloud, though we still carry her in our hearts. My mother's mentor, a generous woman who gave freely of her wisdom and her world. I think of her like I think of the women I admire most, strong, quiet in her generosity, teaching in ways that echo. Years later, my mother gifted me the necklace, and I tucked them away in velvet, wore them only for weddings and funerals, as if keeping them unseen could preserve their radiance. After a day out of their soft cocoon, worn around my neck for a friend's wedding, the necklace snapped, pearls scattering like tiny stars across the floor too far to catch. I cried, not just for the necklace, but for what it held, my mother's belief in me, her willingness to share something sacred that we both treasured, the honor of holding something so deeply loved. When I was barely a teenager, my mother and I packed our lives into 2 small suitcases, leaving Ohio for Florida, leaving behind more than just furniture, the photographs that filled the spaces we'd grown into, the school halls I thought I'd walk for 4 years, off-campus lunch breaks and a class ring with a ruby jewel, the people who'd shaped me into who I was and who I'd become, and Mom's dark-stained jewelry box, its bronze daisy knobs, its perfume-soaked felt, all left behind for someone else to decide its fate. 9 years later, during Thanksgiving dinner, I found it again by chance, the jewelry box, balanced on the edge of someone else's life, a lot more wobbly, a little less loved. My cousin was gonna throw it away. That night, I carried it home, felt its weight in my arms, like memories settling against me, like fingerprints left on glass. I wonder now why we hide what we cherish, why we tuck our best into shadows, favorite clothes left unworn, china served only on Christmas and not even then, pearls saved for sorrow. I try to let go, to use what I have, but some things still sit untouched, waiting for a moment that never feels right. And still, in a lifetime of collecting people, so many slip through. They leave, or I do, and their faces fade into memory, into melody. I'm still thinking about the friends, the lovers, the teachers, even when their faces blur and their laughs leave, their love and impacts linger, like pearls from a broken strand, hidden in corners. Thank you.
Y'all keep it going for Jau'more Wilson.